Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports Podcast YouTube channel. This clip, we are going to do our award show for Tuesday championship weekend of the NFL. We're going to give out such awards as Game of the Week, MVP, the normal ones, but then we're going to give out awards such as I'm Inevitable, Press X to Doubt, The Customer is Never Right, and we'll continue on from there. Before I give out my awards, let me know in the comments down below, do you have an award that you'd like to give to a coach, player, or team? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's give out some awards. Let's start with the MVP, a normal one. I'm going to give it to Saquon Barkley. Saquon had a really good game. I really think that between him and Derrick Henry, you can pick the signing of the offseason. I think most people would say Saquon at this point because he has helped the Eagles get back to the Super Bowl, but he really dominated the Commanders. He only had to carry the ball 15 times. He had 7.9 yards a carry, over 100 yards off of 15 carries. And then by the end of halftime, basically, the game was over after the fumbled kickoff. The Eagles scored, and then it was really, the game was kind of out of reach at that point, in my opinion, because of some other factors that led to that. But the MVP to me, Saquon Barkley, even though that game was not close, it was a little out of hand. The reason why, Saquon. 3 touchdowns, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Okay, Game of the Week. This is, I think, an obvious one. The Chiefs beat the Bills to go back to the Super Bowl and try to three-peat. 32-29. Josh Allen had the ball with 3 timeouts left. I believe 3 timeouts anyway. I'm pretty sure it was 3 timeouts with about 3 minutes to go after the Chiefs made the field goal. So the Bills had an opportunity to either win the game, or I shouldn't say win the game, score to go ahead or score to tie the game, and they were unable to do that. And then Kincaid with a big drop, even though it was a tough catch, I still think he should have got it. But Josh Allen, great game. He had a 71 QBR with 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, 245 yards with an 87 QBR and a touchdown. We had a good rushing attack. Overall, the team rushing. Cook led the way for the Bills. He had 85 yards on the ground on 13 carries. The entire Bills running game had almost 150 yards with 4.6 yards a carry. Worthy showed up, and then Mac Hollins showed up for the Bills, including that a good touchdown grab there for the Buffalo Bills. Really an awesome game to watch, go down to the wire. So we're going to give the Game of the Week to the Chiefs and the Bills. Let's go to I Am Inevitable award. That award goes to the Chiefs, but more specifically, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has been a starting quarterback in the NFL for 7 years. He's been to 5 Super Bowls. He already has 17 wins in the playoffs, which is second, tied for, or I think it's second most, actually. And what's interesting is he's not even 30 yet, right? 9 straight playoff wins, that's tied for second most, and 8 game-winning drives, that's tied for most. So Patrick Mahomes has been just amazing his entire career so far. He is going to start, especially if they win the Super Bowl, I think he's going to be there's going to be talks about the GOAT conversation eventually, as long as he keeps his career trajectory. And unfortunately for anybody who roots for teams in the NFL, specifically the AFC, it's just going to be really hard to get to the Super Bowl with him and the Chiefs and Andy Reid being like this. So I Am Inevitable, that goes to Patrick Mahomes. Press X to Doubt award. This goes to the call of the week that I just do not agree with. So obviously the refs have been a big part of the conversation the last couple of weeks when it comes to the Chiefs. Statistically, there's some statistics that will back up the fact that the Chiefs do get a lot of calls. There's some statistics that help you see maybe Chiefs don't get all the calls. There's clips out there circulating that there was calls and non-calls that benefited the Chiefs. But there was also clips circulating about Josh Allen and the Bills getting calls or non-calls that benefited them. The catch call, I understand it, whatever. The fourth down and one is the one that I just press X'd out. That's the biggest one to me. Mainly because I think everybody that watched the game on TV could kind of see he got the first down. The judge that could, the official that could see where the ball was, um, came and gave the Bills the first down, right? And then he kind of slowly crept towards the one that did not see where the ball was, but he had them short. They went with the short, and at that point, I knew the call would not be overturned. And it's not because it's a Chiefs thing, even though you could make that argument. It was because it was you couldn't see the ball thing, and that's the way the officials are trained to call it. Can't see the ball. There's no clear evidence. Even though, in my opinion, I think half his back, like half his body was across, and the ball was kind of like it had to cover half his body. So to me, I don't know how they didn't get the first down. Now, did that lose in the game? No, like we said before, Allen had an opportunity to win the game, but that's a bad call. So press X the doubt goes to the 4th and 1 call from that refs that everybody's kind of talking about. Deja vu award. This award goes to really what we all feel is deja vu, and this is the Chiefs and the Eagles being back in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57 back in 2023, so only a year, 2 years ago. The Chiefs won that Super Bowl 38-35. So that means if you're going to watch the Super Bowl, which I know a lot of people are talking about maybe not watching it, I'm going to watch it. It was an exciting one. Mahomes went for 182 and 3 touchdowns. Kelsey led the way for the Chiefs, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Pacheco, 76 yards and a touchdown. On the other end, Hurts had 4 touchdowns with over 300 yards passing, and Brown and Smith combined for 196 yards. The biggest X factor in this game is going to be Saquon, because back in 2023, the running back for the Eagles was Miles Sanders, only 16 yards on the ground. So the Deja Vu Award goes to the Super Bowl matchup we're going to see next week. Bump in the Road Award. This goes to the team slash player that this is just a bump in the road, and we expect great things from, and that's going to be Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. Commanders had 4 turnovers, and that's ultimately why the game got out of hand. 4 turnovers. Like we learned the previous week when the Lions had 5 turnovers, there's only so much you can overcome, and you can't overcome turning the ball over so often. Daniels had an 83.9 QBR, 255 yards passing, and 48 on the ground. So he did his thing. And this is going to be a bump in the road because I think Dan Quinn, he is going to get more of his players. He's going to implement his system on the defensive side of the ball, get that offensive line and run game fixed that will help Daniels. And I think there's bright future in store for the Commanders. So bump in the road award goes to the Commanders. Back on track award. We're going to give this to the Eagles passing game. The last 2 games, Hurts, 131 yards was the passing high. The most QBR he had, the highest QBR he had, I should say, is 62.5. Brown, the most yards receiving, well, no, combined the last 2 games, 24 yards receiving. This game this weekend, 96 yards receiving off of 6 receptions from the Brown. Hurts was 20 of 28 with 246 yards. Almost the same amount of yardage if you combine the last 2 games of passing. He almost passed that in this past game, total yards of 246. I think it would be 252 the last 2 games combined. Goddard also had 85 yards off of 7 receptions, and Hurts threw a touchdown. So it looks like their passing game's back on track. Now, you could argue could be the defense that they played against, maybe, but I'm going to give it to the Hurts Eagles passing game back on track award. It's not your fault award. We're going to give this to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is so good. He's so good, but he's just not Patrick Mahomes. He's 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He's 4-1 in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's 0-4. Now, these are some of the numbers. 65.2% completion. He averages 260 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 65 yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. Now, the first year that they played in the playoffs, the Bills lost to the Chiefs, 38-24, 14 difference. But since then, 6 points, 3 points, 3 points. And the 6 points was that overtime victory that made the NFL change the rules. So although the Chiefs keeps beating the Bills, Josh Allen, it is not your fault. This is getting a point of absurdity. I don't know what else to tell you, but it's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Award goes to Josh Allen. Okay, last award we'll give out today, the Customer is Never Right Award. Listen, I think most of us wanted one of, if not both, the Commanders and Bills to win. Just because we wanted something a little different, we didn't get that. We got something we've seen. So the point is, going into the playoffs, there was a couple different matchups all of us want to see. Did you want to see the Ravens get there with Lamar and Henry? Did you want to see the Bills? How about the Chargers? Maybe those teams. We get the Chiefs. On the other end, who did you want to see? Did you want to see Minnesota make a run? Maybe the Rams to get back and Matthew Stafford to try to win another ring. Maybe you were a Lions fan like myself who thought this is the year. No, we get the Eagles again. So all the various options we could have got, we didn't get. So the Customer is Never Right Award goes to the NFL for giving us just exactly what we would expect. So that's all the awards that I have for this weekend, past weekend. Again, please let me know in the comments, did I get the awards right? Would you give one of the awards to somebody else? And let me know if you give out awards to different players, coaches, or teams. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we will talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.